Hi, so this is Dr. V. This is part 2 of your Intro to Teaching 923 class. I am too long-winded to get it done in one 15-minute video. So now we are going to talk about some challenges. We talked about our philosophy statements, even drafted a few ideas that we can look back at when we have to formally write our philosophy statements. But now we're going to talk about some of the challenges that we're going to face. So if you think back to your classroom days, what are these student-teacher ratios? They're growing, guys. So when I taught, back in 1923, student-to-teacher ratios were much smaller than they are now. For example, for a kindergarten classroom back in the day, you couldn't have more than 15 5-year-olds to one teacher. Now it's something like 22. And if we go up into high schools, it's crazy, guys. They can have up to 32 kids in your classroom, sometimes even more. So that's definitely a challenge. Student mobility is a challenge. When I did my student teaching in a first grade class, I had 17 first graders in there. From the start of the semester to the end of the semester, only 2 were the same. So kiddos move. Kiddos go live with mom, go live with dad, go live with grandma. Things happen. Hurricanes happen. Pandemics happen. So it's very hard to teach kiddos if you don't have the same kiddos in your classroom for the entire year. Social challenges for students. We see so many students that live in poverty. They have substance abuse at their home, teen pregnancy, homelessness, abuse and neglect, which we talked about already. Make sure that you go back and know the difference between abuse and neglect. And these poor kiddos, they're dealing with so much right now. And how can we expect them to go home and do their algebra homework if they don't have anything to eat? So that's definitely a challenge. Inadequate family and community support for students. High rate of diverse abilities and disabilities within the classroom. So you all most likely will be teaching in what's called an inclusion classroom. We're going to talk about that in a couple of weeks. But that means that you will have some special education students in your classroom or students with other needs that you will have to accommodate. So how do you teach a classroom of 30 students when they all have such different abilities and disabilities? And of course, pandemic and hurricane teaching, we're all going through that right now. Definitely challenges. Other challenges specifically for teachers, salary range. So next week we're going to do project 1, where you're going to look at a couple of different parishes and you are going to see the huge difference in salary range, sometimes up to $10,000 for different parishes and districts in the state of Louisiana. So we'll talk about that. Teacher burnout. Unfortunately, many teachers burn out before the 5th year of teaching because of this job satisfaction, exhaustion, inability to work with what's going on in their classroom, lack of support from administrators. And when we talk about the project next week again and choosing a school and what school you want to work at, hopefully I can guide you into choosing a school with maybe some teachers that like to stay there a long time, and teachers that don't leave. That's usually a good sign of a good school and good administration. Another challenge that we're going to talk about next week is how teachers are assessed. Teachers are assessed twice per year, and they are assessed on one of 2 rubrics. They're called the Compass rubric and the NIET rubric. Next Tuesday, we will have an entire session just focused on that, but that's definitely a challenge for teachers. So what should you expect from the rest of your ed coursework? First of all, we want to expect no pandemic and we want to expect no hurricanes, but we'll see. So in a perfect world with no pandemic or hurricanes, you would be doing field experiences with face-to-face observations, You'll be doing small group teaching, virtual experiences, and residency. One common misconception is after you get out of Ed 250, you're going to be teaching a whole class worth of students and expected to just knock it out of the park next semester. No, that's not, we don't do that to you. We're not that mean. So what you'll do is this semester, of course, will be all virtual field experiences. Hopefully by next semester, you'll get to go into the Little Colonels Academy. You'll get to go into K-12 schools. We talked about High Five. You'll get to go to High Five. And Touchstone is a wonderful center for children on the autism spectrum. So hopefully you'll be going in and watching what other teachers do in those classrooms next. After that, we'll have you do some small group teaching. You'll pull a group of 2, 3, 4, 5 students and you'll teach them a lesson. It's stepping stones to get you to residency, which is your last 2 full semesters with us when you are in the classroom. Okay, so what comes after 250? Next is 312, which is how to write lesson plans, and 313, classroom management. And this is all done again with field experiences so that you're getting the theory in the Nichols classroom, but you're also getting to look at how other teachers are writing lesson plans and how other teachers are using classroom management skills. After that is your methods coursework within your residency. So for my up to 5th grade candidates, you will be doing methods coursework within residency. You'll take a course that says how to teach science and social studies. You'll take a course how to teach reading. You'll take a course how to teach math. And these are very different courses where you'll get to dive into the subject specific. For my secondary people, you guys will be doing this during residency. You also have to take a how to teach reading course, even if you're not ELA, because reading is intertwined within every subject. And then you'll take a specific methods course depending on your area of expertise, whether that's HPD, social studies, science, English, math, whatever. Okay, what will you have to do this semester? I put this here. Let's look at our field experiences again. Dr. Richard and I really don't know what the heck our field experiences are going to look like post-hurricane and pandemic this semester. So try not to worry about field experiences for this semester right now. But what we want you guys doing, whether we're going to watch videos or whether, next semester you'll hopefully be going into classrooms, maybe you can start looking at, ooh, I like the way the teacher did this. I'd like to replicate that. Maybe you can think about, I don't really like the way the teacher handled this situation. I'd like to do it differently in this way when I get my own classroom. What Dr. Richard and I do know for this semester is we are going to be doing focused observations with 4 different videos. So we talked a few slides ago about how teachers are assessed using a rubric. Well, you as a resident in your last year with us will also be assessed using the NIET rubric. So within this class, we're going to be looking at 4 different parts of that rubric, and then we're going to be watching videos and just looking at specific things. For example, one of them is teacher knowledge of students. So we'll watch a short video and not really watch it as a general field experience watching. We're just going to be watching for, does that teacher show that she or he knows her students? Meaning that, okay, I know little Johnny is a soccer player. Can I give him a math word problem that incorporates soccer into it to get him excited about the word problem of the day? So those are going to be focused observations that we do. Once you're in the classroom, we also talk about being lifelong learners. How can you grow professionally once you're in the classroom? You'll be doing things called action research. You'll say, okay, I want my kiddos to improve their knowledge of atoms and compounds. So I'm going to give them a pre-test to see what they know. I'm going to teach this lesson in a little different way. And then I'm going to give them a post-test to see if they grew. That's what's called action research. What else can you do to grow professionally? You can go to conferences, join professional organizations. Page 6 in your text gives you a great list of those. And you can also start building your professional learning network. For example, I'm on Twitter, not socially. I'm only on Twitter to follow other educational professionals like myself and get ideas and knowledge from them. Okay, we talked about teacher evaluation a little bit, but again, we have a whole day of that next week. But just know that teachers in Louisiana are evaluated based on one of two rubrics, the COMPAS or the NIET. And we're going to talk about that again next week. So, I am running out of time again. Let's see if I can get through this quickly. Your homework is going to be a discovering curriculum assignment. And I'm going to go here for our specific instructions. So what is curriculum? What we're going to look at in this homework is the content standards that you will be teaching in your future classroom. So think of your areas of certification. My birth to 5 majors, you can teach from birth all the way up to 3rd grade, 1 to 5, obvious. Secondary, you are in grades 6 through 12. And HPD, music and art, you are K through 12. So you can teach anything. How do you know what grade you would like to teach? Hopefully this project will help you start to investigate that. So what you're going to do is you're going to click this link and you're going to go to, oops, that was the wrong link. You are going to go, I will fix that, I promise. You're going to go to this page. And what this is all of the different standards for students. Basically, you go into your 1st grade math class tomorrow. How do you know what content you should be teaching? Well, you know because the Louisiana Board of Education tells you what you should be teaching. So if you go to grade 1, you can see that at the beginning of the school year, you should be teaching this curriculum standard. So the purpose of this assignment is so that you can investigate more than one grade level and see what content is in each of the grade levels. So I'm asking you to investigate 3 different groups of standards, and here are some examples. So birth to 5 could do kindergarten science, pre-K ELA, 2nd grade social studies, also called social living. So my secondary, I put social studies here, could do grade 8 social studies, US history and civics. HPD, remember that you are also mandated to teach health as well as PE, so try to pick out a couple of those to investigate. So I don't like instructions, I like examples. So I've given you an example of myself doing this homework assignment as a prospective secondary social studies teacher. So I went here and I investigated the social studies standards for 6th grade, for US history, and for social studies. And I'm going to open up this correct link now. So I know that my areas of certification are from 6th grade to 12th grade, so I definitely won't look at kindergarten through 5th. I'm going to go ahead to 6th grade and look at these standards. And I'm going to read through these standards to try to get an idea of what exactly is taught in 6th grade social studies. So I did that here and I put my thoughts here. So the 4 different areas that are taught according to the standards that I looked at are history, geography, civics, and economics. And I put here some of the things that the standards said that I might teach. And after I looked all of that, I said, wait a second. This isn't US history. This isn't really world history. This is ancient civilizations. And I don't think that is my strongest area. So I'm going to reflect upon that and say, if I get a job as a 6th grade social studies teacher, I might need to brush up on my content knowledge. So I'm running out of time again. What I'd like you to do is spend at least 10 minutes on 3 areas of standards that you are certified in. So that means 30 minutes total. You will do a template kind of like this. If you'd like to organize it in a different way, that's fine with us. But I want you to investigate 3 different areas of standards and see what is taught in those areas, and give me a little reflection on what you think about it. Okay, so depending on your grade level of certification, you are going to be looking at different things here. Know that the standards for math and English look different from science and social studies, but they are all linked there for you. As always, let Dr. Richard and I know if you need anything. Have a great day.